Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host Saeed. I do want to thank you for joining us Tuesday the 6th of July 2021, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here in Synergy TV, Synergy Television, Synergy Network. We are live Monday to Friday. Monday, Tuesday is our current affairs program. Wednesdays is public concerns. Thursday is Bacchanal Thursday, and Friday we have our relationship segment. We call it the Lover's Lane on a Friday night. So viewers, I do want to thank you for joining us tonight. Remember, share our live stream on Facebook, Real Talk with Saieed Ali, on YouTube, TT Real Talk. Those of you who haven't liked our pages on Facebook, please do so. When you like it, share it also on YouTube. Search TT Real Talk. You will see us popping up. Subscribe. Hit the bell and you would know when we go live. So viewers, a special good night to those of you that are locked on to Real Talk with Saieed Ali in Trinidad and Tobago via Facebook, television, YouTube, up the Caribbean, around the globe. Thank you for joining us. So feel free to call in 238-6716 where your comment is valid, your response is valid, your concerns is valid. If it is valid to no other program, it is valid to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. So viewers, as we start off tonight, 238-6716 our studio line from 6 to 7 p.m. live, Monday to Friday night. And remember, for those of you that are having spiritual problems, you can feel free to contact me at 339-1670 or 238-6716. So we're starting off tonight. Local cement manufacturers. Trinidad Cement Limited, that is TCL, continue to support the fight against COVID-19 with the company's most recent donation of 30,000 KN95 face masks to the Ministry of Health. This will be used for the frontline workers in the health sector. So we want to thank TCL for donating 30,000 face masks, that is the KN95, to the health workers of Trinidad and Tobago. TCL General Manager, Mr. Rojo, also acknowledged the President's effort, or the persistent effort, of Health Minister Terence Dialsing and the Ministry of Health. He noted that the proper use of face masks has been crucial in preventing illness across CIMEC's worldwide operation. TCL also recognized the ongoing effort of the hard-working frontline workers in their respective field and hope this contribution of masks will benefit those in the health sector. So viewers, tonight we want to give a big round of applause to TCL for donating 30,000 KN95 masks to the health workers in Trinidad and Tobago. And we wish in the coming months that they will continue to donate some other stuff, probably some gowns or some shoes covering or head mask or something. Whatever it is in their favor, we want to thank them publicly tonight. I am making that a statement. I'm thanking them tonight. Now, we're moving on to CARICOM. So TNT Prime Minister have shifted. He's no longer CARICOM chairman. Incoming chairman of CARICOM, Prime Minister of Antigua and Bermuda, Gaston Brown, Mr. Gaston Brown, have stated, now listen to this, listen to this carefully. He have stated that he plans to put an end to discriminatory travel ban on the island with high COVID-19 numbers. Brown made a comment in his first official address of outgoing chairman after the outgoing chairman, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, handed over the title of CARICOM to Brown in a virtual meeting yesterday, being Monday. Brown stated that the increased movement of persons among the island would mean a great boost to the island community. You hear that? Recently appointed Chairman Gaston Brown, he's the Prime Minister of Antigua and Bermuda. He vows to put an end to the discriminatory travel ban on the island. And he said, Brown stated that the increased movement of persons among the island would mean a great boost in the island's economy. Now, this is the incoming chairman for CARICOM, Mr. Brown, and that was his statement. You see, that tells me that even though he has the position of the chairman, picked up the mantle yesterday, his first statement is to make sure there's a move to boost the economy in his country. Caller, good night.
Hi, good night.
Go right ahead, my dear.
Yes, just to let you know, in McCoy settlement, there is a main burst of pipe. We reported several times to WASA, and they say that is not important. They are dealing with bigger things right now, and water is wasting. This is over a month now, and water is wasting in McCoy settlement.
My friend,
several times.
Could you do a little videotape with a little note on it and send it to us at Real Public Concerns?
Sure, I can do that.
Thank you, my dear. Tomorrow night, viewers, is Wednesday night Real Public Concerns, where we highlight the issues of the roads, the drainage, the bridges, the corporations, the councillors, the MPs. We highlight that on a Wednesday night. So don't forget. Now, look at this. Look at Mr. Brown. He said that a great boost to the island economy is by a great movement. How do we restart the economy in Trinidad? With a movement of people. Yes, he understands there's a high number of COVID-19 cases. He understands that. But if the numbers continue to rise and the people continue to stay home and the economy and the growth will drop, how would the country grow? How the people that are home would sustain themselves when their cash flow are running out? Not much people understand that. So hear this. He also thanked Rowley for his tireless effort during his time as CARICOM chair. During Rowley's 6 months as CARICOM chair, he called on more developed country to stop ordering vaccines and to allow a smaller and lesser developed islands in the Caribbean to access the supply. Rowley also thanked the chair, the CARICOM member state who shared their own vaccine with TNT. Caller, good night.
Saieed Ali.
Go right ahead.
How you keeping?
I'm good. Trying to stay within my COVID-19 regulations.
Your program is in high marks, man. You know what I say?
It?
I say program is in high marks.
Oh, okay. Thank you for calling in, my friend.
You don't think?
Now, viewers, we're moving into department with our very own Health Minister, Terence Dialsing. You know we love Mr. Dialsing. We love him. I love him as a human being. I am telling you this on national television. I love the individual as a human being. But what I don't like is when you are an individual with a position to help the people and you're making some decisions and some statements as if it's a 5-year-old that is running the seat. Caller, good night.
Sorry, good night.
Go right
Could
ahead.
we ask the Minister of Health Program, so why it is that you only giving second doses of the COVID vaccine and not continuing first doses? Are we short of vaccines still in Trinidad? Thank you.
Thank you for calling in. Now, one thing I could say on that is that whoever collected the first dose of the Sinopharm, they have been appointed a second dose. So probably this is what he given out now, the second dose of Sinopharm. So if we got 100,000 Sinopharm, he would assign 50,000 people to get shots. Now the first 50,000 people out of the 100,000 will get 50,000 people to get shots, one dose each. And the second half of the 50,000 would go to those same 50,000 people to collect their second dose. So if you see vaccine given out, it's probably the second dose that you are seeing presently. So viewers, local company, Very Medical and Scientific Company Limited, has applied to the Health Ministry in recent weeks to supply vaccine to the government of Trinidad and Tobago. You see this? Let me tell you something. I'm waiting patiently to see the outcome of this. I'm waiting patiently. The company has applied to the ministry in recent weeks to supply vaccine to the government of Trinidad and Tobago. I remember that, eh? Let me see what's going to take place with this company. Senator Wade Mark questioned. He questioned about the proposed supply of 3 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccine by Howard SkyQuest, and so whether that company has authorized Very Medical to submit a bid for supply. In response, the Asing stated that the Health Ministry has no knowledge of Very being the authorized agent for Hiwaski Quest Globe Limited / SkyQuest Technology Group. He also stated that no approval was granted for any local distributor to be involved in the importation of COVID-19 vaccine.
Just for context, the question is about the provision of AstraZeneca vaccines to Trinidad and Tobago by a private enterprise. The answer, no, the Ministry of Health has no knowledge of Very Medical and Scientific Company Limited being the authorized dealer for Hiwaski Quest Global Limited and or SkyQuest Technology Group. And the part 2, no approval has been granted for any local distributor to be involved in the importation of COVID-19 vaccines from COVAX, the African Council, or any other arrangement at this time.
Now viewers, Mark then questioned if at any point Very Medical has sent any application to supply AstraZeneca to TNT. However, the RC confirmed that one application from Very Medical was recently received by the ministry in the last 2 weeks, and the ministry has provided a list of requirements to follow.
There is one application, as I indicated to the lower house on Friday, I believe, that this same company, Very Medical, has in fact applied to Chemistry, Food and Drugs, and we have responded, listing the requirements that they need to follow.
Can I ask the Honourable Minister, through you, Madam President, when this application by the company he mentioned was made?
Minister.
That application would have been made within the, I don't have the exact date, within the last 2 weeks to a month.
Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali. Calling from Saieed Ali.
Sandy Grandi.
I post a video yesterday, what I said yesterday in the corner of Picture Road at Riley Street in Saieed Ali.
Caller, we do apologize for cutting. We are getting some feedback. If you hang up and try again and you get through, we will allow you. So viewers, we're going to wait and see. But 2 companies, Ansamakal and Supermarket Association, they were also asking to import their own vaccine. So I wonder if a list now of requirements was sent to the Supermarket Association and to Ansamakal. Tomorrow I will try tomorrow is Wednesday night, but I will try to get in touch with the supermarket president, Mr. Rajiv Dipti, and hear what he have to say concerning this matter. Caller, good night.
Hello, good night. I just wanted to know when licensing office is opening.
What time?
Licensing office is opening.
Well, we will have to wait until the ministry Health Ministry, Terence Dial Singh, the Minister, and the Prime Minister give a release to other businesses opening in Trinidad. We will just have to wait and see. No one knows the exact date as yet. Thank you for calling. So now, viewers, in March, Dial Singh, in a 2-page statement, had struck down UNC social media allegations of a link between a relative of his and Very Medical. Very Medical also followed suit and issued a statement distancing itself from UNC's allegations. So there's a lot going on here. But we will get to the bottom of this. So remember, viewers, tomorrow, Wednesday, being Public Concerns Night, remember to share your videos and your footage with us at Real Talk. And we will highlight it. It will be my honor to highlight it on television. So in case that ministers and MPs don't know where the bad road and the bad drain and the bad bridges are, we will show them on television so they will know where it is. Caller, good night.
Good night.
Go right ahead, my dear.
Mr. Saieed.
Yes?
Tehran lying thing. He only lying and he just forget how he lying.
I understand what you're saying. Thank you so much. You see, I will tell you something. There's so much more the health ministry could do for Trinidad and Tobago. So much more. Is it that they don't know how to manage a sector? Or is it that people in the sector don't know what to do? Now, you see, the health minister, he would receive reports. But it is also his duty to correct health going along the line. You see how I just come here and tell him, well, hey, that was a mistake. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do the next. You're supposed now to, for once, to a hospital or a health center and find out the fault or what need upgrading in one particular health center and assign a team to it. This is, let's just say, Printestone Health Facility. Assign a team to Printestone Health Facility. Do a complete rundown of the needs of that health facility. Assign a team to that health facility to make sure it is fitted with the things that it needs to function properly. You see, I'm going to tell you something. If you upgrade the health centers throughout Trinidad, people would not have to rush to the hospital where you would get a volume of people. Caller, good night.
Hi.
Yes, go right ahead. You're live on Real Talk.
Hi, Sai. Good evening.
Good afternoon.
As we on the Alsing case, can you? He have a new Prado. Can you kindly ask him if he's selling his Mustang, please? Have a nice evening.
Hey, I just have to laugh. I just have to laugh at this one. Viewers, health and security and education is the three main things in Trinidad and Tobago. And if we have people in the various divisions and we cannot get three things functioning properly in Trinidad and Tobago, something is wrong. Something is wrong. Health, security, and education is the key to a comfortable life. A comfortable life. If you don't have these three sectors functioning, we would not have a comfortable life. Caller, good night.
No, good night, Mr. Saieed.
Go right ahead.
Nice program, man. I enjoy the program every day.
Thank you.
Saieed,
Thank you.
Saieed, you are going on. I see the Minister of Agriculture. He doing an ex-minister work. he's talking about the PNTech. And another thing, side, we are hearing nothing about the farmers and who lost the crop in February month. And we are hearing about the farmers payment. The agriculture minister, get the agriculture minister to tell you what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. I'll try to get him on Thursday. How do we go forward with security? How do we go forward with health? How do we go forward with education? I saw on I believe on a newspaper, Minister is concerned about dropouts from the online schooling. Now I'm going to tell you something. With online schooling and parents not working to pay bills, what would you get? You will get a cut in internet. Internet is not cheap. Internet is not cheap. Caller, good night.
Good night.
Go right ahead.
My contribution is he wants to fix all the health centers in Tobago. What happened to Trinidad health centers? We are not anybody, and people not working. So how would they pay internet bill? How would the children be online schooling?
Correct.
This government is making the poorer class of people more poor, turning to the poverty line. I don't understand what is happening here. But at the end of the day, they have everything, so they don't care about the poor people of Trinidad and Tobago. And the 1% really don't want to know nothing what happens to anybody anymore. They happy.
Thank you, my dear. You see, three main things in Trinidad supposed to be functioning without any complaints. Because the kind of money that's been circulating in Trinidad, these three factors, health, security, and education, supposed to be functioning in Trinidad and Tobago as number one, as a priority to the citizens, as a priority to the country. But is any ministry taking it on very serious? So now that the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is no longer the chairman for CARICOM, maybe he will pay a little more attention to Trinidad instead of all the islands. Because Mr. Brown is concerned about his country. He wants the economy to grow in his country. So if he have to put things in place, protocols in place for COVID-19, according to what we just read, he wants a greater growth, a greater movement of people would mean a stronger economy. So my guess, by him saying that, he is going to put things in place. He is going to put things in place. Now, switching gears a bit. Speaking in the parliament today, Senator Clarence Rambert stated that not only it is a criminal offense to set up illegal tea and tech connection, but court offenders also have to pay for the stolen electricity. If they catch you, you will also have to pay for the stolen electricity. He stated that for the period of 2016 to March 2021, 5,928 reports of illegal connections and for tampering with installations have been received, of which 4,774 were dealt with. Rambert further sought to outline what happens when an illegal connection is discovered.
The current stealing charges, you'd be surprised to know, are applied to the customer, which will include investigative charges, administrative charges, and where applicable, the customer will also be back billed for the calculated consumption based on the relevant tariff. So you also have to pay for the electricity that's estimated to have been stolen. And in cases where the service is disconnected, electricity will not be reconnected until the customer has made the necessary alterations and has produced a valid certificate of inspection from the Government Electrical Inspectorate Division.
Now viewers, this would help citizens with illegal connection. Listen this. Mr. Rambarat, he also added that an amnesty was implemented by TNTech from the 22nd of March to the 30th of June this year, 2021, allowing persons with illegal connections the chance to avoid disconnection and charges and become regularized. However, Rambarat stated that only 46 applicants were submitted by the end of the amnesty. Caller, good night.
Good evening, Mr. Said.
My friend.
Said, every time the PNM government demit, they never lose an election, they demit to office, it's because they had run this country to the brink of recession, oppression, and they mash up the economy. So they demit office, they throw it for our next government to come in and bring back the economy, put back the country into foot. Rowley didn't expect the last 2 terms in government. And he is trying everything right now to provoke the population to destabilize this country so that an election would call. Because they have no clue and no answer in managing this country and the population, the economy, with what is taking place right now. This country is in such a bad state for the population right now to come back out if we open back, whenever we open back, for society to start back. There's absolutely nothing to fall back on. It's been over 6 years they have been in government, and this government, Rowley government, hasn't one single thing to generate any type of economic growth in the country presently. So the only thing they're depending on is the little oil and gas resources that it have right now, and for the private sector to upkeep this country and to keep the population growing. So everything that you see that is happening here, he is hoping that some type of civil unrest take place to destabilize the society, and he come and call an early election, go away with all the millions and hide in Tobago in the mansion he built and hide up there, and then he will throw the governance to somebody else to deal with what the country have to face, which is a total disaster. I hope the population be very concerned and aware of what is happening, and make sure old Rowley and that bunch of thieves they have in Parliament accountable for what they have done to this country. Make sure, you see people like Alwari and Stuart Young and Imbert and thing, next Dial Singh, don't let them get a chance to come out of this country and escape to nowhere where they have their millions hiding out. Make sure they remain in Trinidad and Tobago and to deal with this population and the people for the chaos and the crisis that they have caused for the sufferation of people in this country. Have a good night, Mr. Sai. Take care.
Thank you, my friend, for your comments. Now, viewers, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Roshan Parashram have stated that it is too early to see the impact of COVID-19 vaccination program in Trinidad and Tobago. It is too early, he said. Parashram stated that he have not seen the full impact of the vaccination based on trajectory of the curve.
I think it's a little bit, I haven't seen the full impact of the vaccination kicking in based on the trajectory of the curves that we saw, but it is a little early. Most people start to see somewhat of an effect when you hit 20% fully vaccinated. Then when you go beyond 40 and 60, you begin to see much more of an impact at a population level. So we're hoping that if we can get those numbers up very quickly and require people to do 2 things generally. Continue doing your public health measures, wearing your mask, watching your distance, as well as when the vaccine is available to you, ensure that you take the vaccine to bring us to that state in a much quicker time frame.
We don't have much vaccine in Trinidad, you know. We don't. Less than 200,000 people vaccinated in Trinidad and Tobago. We have heard reports of all sorts of things happening. all sorts of things, all sorts of complications. I had a friend, we spoke recently. She went and got her first dose of COVID-19 vaccine. They told her to take Panadol and Panadine. She suffered with a migraine headache from the day she got her first dose, straight up until her second dose. Take Panadine, take paracetamol, take Panadol, and relax yourself. That is what she told me. And on top of that, she had to work. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saeed.
My friend, go right ahead.
Every day of my life, I try to pray for the poor people of Trinidad and Tobago for what these people in government doing to them. I don't know when it's going to reach a point like in America that when you reach $9,999.99, 1 cent more is called you in to find out how you get that money. Every day, Ian Allen, Stephen Rees, and sometimes you begging people to give hampers to people who suffer in this country. But all these millionaires like Al Rari and the next one who buy $1 million vehicles, they can't put out and help nobody. They can't give no bags to nobody. They can't help nobody. They're only studying how to make money and how to thief money. Look how much money them getting in tax exemption. They don't pay for food, they don't pay for gas, they don't pay for cars, so much exemption. God wants to know alone when these thieves will come out of there. And according to Barako, he exact what he say. Every time the government mash up this country and the next party come in and fix it back, the people put them back again to destroy this country. I wonder how all these people who put this government in the power, how them does feel when the night come and when the day come, to what this government doing to them. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Let me tell you something. You see, when you hear the gas price come out, that will be a different thing. That would be a different thing in Trinidad and Tobago, because everything will go up. Mark my words. Mark my words. Today, what's the date today? Today is the 6th, Tuesday the 6th of July. Mark my words. When the new regime, the new plan come into effect, then you go tell me. Then you go tell me, great is the PM. Then I want to let you show me the dance. Show me the dance. The left foot, the right foot. Which foot had the money? Which foot had the money? Which foot going in the grocery? Which foot can't go in the grocery? Let's show me the dance. When the gas price go up, let me tell you something. When the gas price go up, whether your left foot or your right foot or your right hand or your left hand, when you hear you swing up at the gas station, hey, PNM said to put $100 gas in my car there for me. You go tell the dealers that. When you $15 in Port of Spain, and then you're going down south and you have to pay $20. Let me tell you something. You know, normally when you sit around and carry right foot, this be mashing the X. Just now, while I go use the left foot. Because when you hear you go down the highway and you hear you press from 0 to 80 down the highway and you pick up a speed, you go drop it in neutral and you go cruise, go down. You know why? Because you're going to be afraid. You're afraid to burn your gas. Hello, hold on. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saeed. Listen to this. Probably read in his Bible where it said, the rich must get richer and the poor must get poorer. And he carrying it out. But he lost the page where it states that those leaders who suppress and oppress the people, God will deal with them.
Thank you, my friend. You see the views and the comments of citizens of Trinidad and Tobago when they call into Real Talk. It is valid. their comments are valid. You know why? Every 5 years, the 1 inch in your fingertip is valid, you know. Because that 1 inch, when you sink it in the oil and you put it there, you stamp there, it's valid to those in authority. And those that come into authority. And those that are going out of authority, it is valid to them. Call a good night.
Good evening to you, Mr. Saeed.
Go right ahead.
Well, if it rains this time, probably we might not have a riot. Anyway, what I call you to tell you is, you see that illegal electricity connection they're talking about? This has been going on for decades. Now, I can't go and take a picture and show you, but Kinshan Ishmael have it in his archives, where he showed it a couple times over the years, where in the BTAM, these people run their own line and they use what they call alligator clamps.
We've been hearing that, yeah.
And they have been stealing electricity for years. And you know what is the sad part about it? The TNTech police and the officials would come down and want to strangle the poor man. That they are not going inside and interfere with these people. Why? All the best. Have a great evening.
Thank you, my friend. I understand what you're saying. So, viewers, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Roshan Parashram have stated that it is too early. It is too early. How many people have been complaining? I went by a partner a couple days back. I met him right down the road here. Not too far, a couple of houses down. He went for his COVID-19 shot and he take a cork. A cork, where you opening up from that bottle, a metal cork. And he's sticking it to his hand here and it's sticking like magnet. It's sticking like magnet. I tell you, I have many things I could see on television, you know. Many experience I could share from people who contacted me and the symptoms they're having from COVID-19. But do you go forward and tell the doctor? And did the doctor report it to the bigger circle? Take your vaccine. We want herd immunity. They moved it late, starting to acquire a vaccine. You want to talk about herd immunity, and we even have 200,000 people out of 1.4 million people vaccinated as yet. But you're talking about herd immunity. You leave here and you reach quite here. Herd immunity. And down here, you haven't reached half of the people yet. You haven't even reached quarter of the population in Trinidad and Tobago. But you're talking about herd immunity. I wonder if it's a herd of cow we're talking about. Or a herd of sheep. Definitely not herd immunity. You see, I like all the big words and the big presentation and invitation to media and invitation to individuals who want to come and listen to the press conference, whether you're on radio or whether you're on TV. We are keeping a press conference. The media is invited. Don't ask me that question. Don't ask me that question. And I continue. Call a good night.
Yeah, good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, Saeed, you see when the UNC government was in power, right? When the UNC government was in power, everything was too cheap for the people in Trinidad and Tobago.
We were too happy.
They're too happy. So they find their pocket was getting too fat with money. So that way they intend to put the PNM government in power. So the PNM government would empty the pocket for them and make them get like beggars in Trinidad. Everything in Trinidad is going up very high on that this 10 years that they will be making.
Now listen to this. The country launched its national vaccination program on April 6th. Since then, 219,000 people have had their first shot of a vaccine. Of these, over 112,000 people have also had their second dose and are now fully vaccinated. Parashram further added that the vaccination program's focus will now shift to getting as many people as possible vaccinated as soon as possible, as 97% of the population remain naive in terms of vaccination. Now I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people from Trinidad does go Canada. And when you're hearing a release that if you take the Sinopharm, you cannot enter Canada, what do you think people go in and do? What about the farm workers in Trinidad that go to farm in Canada? When they take the Sinopharm vaccine, you think they will be able to enter Canada to go to their job? Have you ever thought about that? If the US released a bulletin, you know the US and China always have a kind of tug of war going on. If the US released a media bulletin, any individual from any country takes the Sinopharm vaccine cannot enter into the United States. What is our position? What is our position? Because it is alleged, there are reports that those of you who takes the Sinopharm cannot enter Canada. So what's going to happen? So Mr. Parasham, do you think people will run and take the Sinopharm vaccine when they are hearing that they cannot enter Canada? And when their destination is Canada? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Call good night.
Good night, good night. Turn up Tuesday, all right? Let me start turning it up. It's over 900, right? So that man for that to grow. You know what I'm talking about? Terribly terrible. Now, let me paint a picture of the Ministry of Health. You were talking about it earlier, Clark, and what has happened with it. You know the CEO of NCHRA, right? North Central Regional Health Association.
Yes.
His competency is basically he's a playwright. You know that? And you know what is a playwright? A person like to write plays and
yes, a playwright.
Right. That is his competency, you know, because he was head of Harris Festa and all of that. So listen to what he do. So Ministry of Health has become a horror movie. You understand what is a horror movie? And you know who is the main actor in that movie? Terrence the Terrible. Because nothing in the Ministry of Health is working. You can't get medication. As you rightly say, none of the health centers are functioning. So he really using his competency to basically show us how a horror movie is like. Now the other thing I want to talk, and we had to talk about Miami, and I want to come back by the Pfizer, because the people know about getting the real vaccine to enter those countries. Forget about, he thinking about the Canadian workers, he is studying them at all. He bringing 200, so he and his family, his mamo and his auntie could go. Now, Surfside Tower in Miami, and it collapsed. Remember, we had something similar to that. What became of the last Alturas Commission of Inquiry? Did we do anything with the report? Did we do the preventive and corrective action? You remember, it has one of them, a nice I saw in right down by we down here, Edinburgh 500. I saw the tower, the 500 towers.
Yeah.
Who built those things? Not the PNM? Who was the minister planning for that? Not the pitman? And let me drop a bombshell and all here. You know, it have a nice fancy ones in Westmoreland called the Renaissance Tower. Who fast-tracked that development? That fella was the minister of planning at that time, you know, the same pitman. And there is a rumor, and I've heard it several times on several talk shows. When those towers was being built, you ever hear about the Leaning Towers of Pisa in Italy? Those towers was basically leaning, and they had to do corrective action, do some re-engineering to straighten the tower. If that was happening there now, what is the risk involved for those people in this tower? The pitman had to answer about those things. People had to talk about those things. If it happened, because they're staying in Miami, is reclaimed land, and all down there is reclaimed land. So somebody had to, we had to
somebody had to pay the price for my children and grandchildren and them who are going to suffer with all these taxes, you know. And we are greedy like, what do you call them, taipans? And small pin, and Terence Terrible. All them fellas are greedy, you know. Them driving on four-wheel drive. And all the people lining up for food. That is wickedness, Agon.
Thank you, my friend. Switching gears now, viewers. Western Division Police have begun inquiries into the theft of a large amount of cancer medication from the St. James Medical Complex. Police received a report of stolen drugs from the center on Monday. That will be Monday the 5th. When staff discovered the shortage, the storage area broken into and the medicine missing. So staff went to work. They discovered that the storage area were broken into, and they also noted that medicine missing. Investigators said the facility received a fresh batch of medication last Wednesday. The drugs were secured on Friday and discovered missing on Monday. Police said while they could not give an exact quantity of the drugs that were stolen, they described it as a substantial amount. So it's a large amount of drugs went missing. Officers suspect the thieves may be hoping to sell the drugs to a private institution. The Northwest Regional Health Authority is calling on the public to be on high alert and contact the police if they know of anyone trying to sell drugs. Drugs are being sold throughout Trinidad and Tobago on the streets and on the corners and on the blocks. Is anyone reporting it to the police? So I find this strange, eh? Call her good night.
Hey, good night.
Go right ahead.
They say I'm minister by Prado, right?
Well, so they say.
So they say, right?
Yes.
I want to have a parole license. I have a parole license. How would license because license office code?
I keep in track of that, my friend.
Right? That's what I would like to know. If that's parole license and how it license.
I keep in track of that. Don't worry.
Very good. I'll listen for that.
I keep in track of it because as we all know, license office closed. We all know that importing our vehicles is not a problem. But getting that very said vehicle license while license office is closed is a serious problem. It's fraud that will be committed to license that vehicle while license office is closed. Because I am waiting on a certified copy and I have to wait for license office to open back. So I'm keeping that, not sidetrack, you know, but on the front burner of me. On the front burner. So viewers, police are investigating an incident where a mother rescued her 8-year-old daughter as the child was being sexually assaulted by a 14-year-old relative. The mother and daughter were at home of relatives where the incident occurred on Sunday night. Report states that the mother and daughter were at the house in South Trinidad in company with others. At around 8:30 p.m., the mother did not see her daughter in the same room as she was and started looking around the house. Upon checking a bedroom, the mother discovered a teenage boy assaulting her child. An alarm was raised and the police were contacted. A report was made to the police station in the Southern District and officers responded. The victim was taken for medical treatment and the report obtained by the police as inquiries are ongoing. I'm going to tell you something. Since I pushed for the child sex offender registry, since I started pushing for that, a lot of incest, a lot of relative rapes, a lot of rapes have been surfacing in Trinidad and Tobago since I have started to push for that. A couple months back. Thank God it is up and running. It's something we have added to the basket of Real Talk pushing for laws and legislations. And I want to thank the Attorney General again, publicly, for bringing it into effect. Now there are one or two things that would come out into the public domain very shortly concerning rape and sexual assault in Trinidad and Tobago. At presently, the Attorney General is working on it, and I am just waiting to bring the news forward to you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Caller, good night.
Good night. Good night, Mr. Saeed.
You're live on Real Talk. Go right ahead.
Okay, good night, Mr. Saieed Ali.
Yes.
It's nice seeing you looking on the TV. I'm calling all the way from the Carcass, man. Saeed, I listened that you said that we open up a bank. I want to let you know that we are really happy and we're glad, and I will be the first one to be coming to check with you. I'm calling to let you know that the road is in a terrible state, and we talked to the minister Tuesday gone, and he said he's going to send some material to patch it up to now. A little bit of material come and we do nothing. The people in the Carcass is really suffering. Nobody comes to this.
Okay,
yes.
here what to do. Do a video footage of the road with a little note and send it to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight it on television. Wednesday is Public Concerns Night.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, my friend. A police officer is aiding investigation after a loaded firearm and a quantity of assorted ammunition were found in a car yesterday. The find was made at about 2:30 a.m. in Debe Trace, Debe. Officers were on mobile patrol in the area when approaching the vicinity of the bridge. They observed a white Toyota Axio parked on the roadway. This is in the Debe Trace in Debe. The officers became suspicious and approached the vehicle. In the car were 3 persons, including 2 women. The officers questioned the 3 and a search was conducted. After a search was conducted on the vehicle, a firearm and a quantity of ammunition were found. The man identified himself as a police officer. As a result, all 3 were detained and were aiding police with the investigations. If it is a unlicensed firearm and ammunition, well, that is going to be some problem. That is going to be some problem. In some crime news, a series of patrol and exercise on Monday afternoon led to the arrest of 1 man and the seizure of 2 guns and ammunition and marijuana in the Beetham and the East Port of Spain. Police went to 7th Street, Beetham Garden around 5:30 p.m. where they searched a 31-year-old man and found a Glock pistol with 9 rounds of ammunition and marijuana. The man was arrested and taken to the Benson Street Police Station, where he is expected to be charged. Police then went to Argyle Street, Belmont, where they found a Taurus pistol with 2 rounds of ammunition in an abandoned house. Port of Spain police are continuing investigations. Viewers, there are a lot of things happening in Trinidad and Tobago, but most of all, there are sufferation for food in Trinidad and Tobago. You know why? A lot of people is crying out. A lot of people are crying out. Remember, the government invested $10 million, I believe, in the religious sector in Trinidad and Tobago. And I hope that this religious sector in Trinidad and Tobago gave food to the members of their religious organization. Apart from that, There are organizations, there are business persons who contribute a lot to people in Trinidad that are in need of help. I'm going to tell you something. It's only so much people could reach out. It's only so much the business sector could reach out. How many social development programs are there in Trinidad and Tobago? I would love to get the Minister of Social Development on a phone interview live on Real Talk to tell the public how many social development programs are active in our little island of Trinidad and Tobago, and how much people have benefited thus far from social development programs in Trinidad. All the school dropouts, where are they going? You see, the Minister of Finance wants to extend the age from 60 to 65. Why not send them home at 60? Let's just say 20,000 or 30,000 people at the age of 60 retire from their work and go home, instead of draining them down to 65, where they could enjoy the little life that they have remaining in their body. Send them home so that they can draw their benefits and probably go for a vacation after contributing to the growth of Trinidad and Tobago. Let's just say 60,000 people resign at the age of 60 and go home. Now, this is where you're creating 60,000 jobs for qualified people who have finished their educations, whether it be CXC, O-levels, whatever it is, your bachelor, your degree, whatever it is, and you employ them in companies or in ministries that would have sent home persons when they reach the age of 60. But you want to drain out the last 5 years of the little bit of health in an individual body when they reach 60. You want to strain them to 65. Send them home. Create employment for dropouts. Those who finish schools, who finish UE, that is what I mean by dropout. You finish school, you come out of school, and what do you do from there? Nothing. Nothing. You have a master's, you have a bachelor, you have a degree, and where do you go? Where do you go? So I want the Minister of Finance to understand that. Send them home at 60, pay them their gratuity, give them their monthly NIS or their insurance or whatever benefits, and take on 60,000 people more. So that is 60,000 people that will be permanent in the government sector that could now plan a future. Simple maths. Not everybody have common sense to think about it like that. How many minutes again? A minute? 2 minutes? So, look at jobs you created. You send home 60 because a lot of people in Trinidad and Tobago expecting to retire at the age of 60. At the age of 60, send them home with their benefits. 60,000. It's just a figure I quoted. It could be more. And you employ 60,000 more. 60,000 planning their future. Their wife, their children. That's 60,000 new homes to be sold on the market. 60,000 individuals planning to go forward. Now when you have $60,000, 60,000 persons unemployed, they cannot plan anything. Hey, let me tell you something. Not everybody have common sense, you know. Not everybody, you know. When a parent is running a family business, they would retire at 50 from their business. And they will put their son or their daughter to manage the business. Now when that son or that daughter start managing that business, that son or that daughter starts planning for the future. Why? Because this is mine. I have to pave the way forward for this. That's growth in the economy. Just imagine, you know it is to have 60,000 house stand still. And then 60,000 house sold. That is whatever financial institute granting loan to 60,000 people. Correct? 60,000. That is interest on 60,000 people. That is Tiantec getting, the collecting Tiantec bill from 60,000 people. WASA will be able to get finance from 60,000 people. Cable company getting salary from 60,000 people. How many of the ministers and the supervisors and the managers have that common sense to know, well, hey, this is a good plan? How many? Not much. Not much. But that is a suggestion for the Minister of Finance. Just a suggestion. And I will continue ponging it. So viewers, we have about a couple seconds left on our show tonight. We do thank you for joining us tonight. Remember, tonight is Tuesday the 6th of July 2021. Wednesday the 7th of July 2021 will be our public concerns night. So remember, we have our email, Real Public Concerns. Send your footages, send your pictures, send your little note so that we will be able to highlight it right here on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. And if the Ministry of Works and Transport, if they have no clues of where the bad road is or the drain we're fixing, you will know it on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. So viewers, until we meet again, Allahumma surka ila anta bakila la baunna. Always grow in wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. It will benefit you in the future. So until we meet again, good night.